may think that vacant houses have no impact on your everyday life, but some city leaders beg to differ.
Yeah, everyone can agree that they're an eyesore in neighborhoods all across Montgomery, but they can also be dangerous, leading to crime and house fires in your neighborhood. And now city leaders are working to address this problem. Here's my Alabama News Network Extra, Burning Blight. Flames shooting through the roof, windows blowing out, a scary sight for most, but something Montgomery firefighters face every day. Like this home on Charles Street, vacant or occupied. From the outside, it's too hard to tell.
Just because a building has been abandoned, there's no guarantee that it's vacant.
This is just one scenario Montgomery firefighters see on a regular basis. In this case, the home was abandoned, but there were reports of a squatter living inside. So while the home should have been empty, Lieutenant K.R. Peoples says firefighters were prepared for a possible rescue.
We'll go in, extinguish that fire, and while we're extinguishing that fire, we'll be conducting a primary and secondary search of the home.
Vacant house fire numbers released to Alabama News Network show this is a problem every year. 44 in 2016. 50 in 2017 and 47 in 2018. That's an average of almost 4 vacant house fires a month last year.
The city has a vacant building problem.
No sugarcoating from Montgomery City Councilman Tracy Larkin. This is a problem he says should have been handled years ago. He tells me that many cities have vacant building ordinances to hold property owners accountable.
The city does not have a single piece of legislation that focuses on or directly addresses the issues of vacant properties.
Larkin says vacant buildings just lead to more problems, declining property values, fires, and crime, especially in the winter months.
Vagrants, derelicts, drug abusers, people who are homeless or looking for shelter will go into these buildings and attempt to stay warm.
In the Chisholm neighborhood, you can find many streets that have multiple vacant and abandoned homes. Take a look inside this one. You can see that the windows and doors are blown out, and it looks like people could be living inside.
It's not fair to allow these buildings to continue to remain vacant in neighborhoods, endangering the lives of people who live in close proximity to them.
While an investigation into a vacant house fire is no different than an occupied house fire, it can present more challenges for investigators. How does a fire start with no electricity, no occupants, and no witnesses? Lieutenant Peoples says much of the responsibility comes back to the property owner, even if no one is living in the house.
It is still your responsibility to make sure that property is properly secured, and go by every once in a while. Now, the Montgomery City Council is working on an ordinance to address vacant properties around the city. That ordinance would require property owners to register vacant buildings with the city and then charge them if buildings remain vacant for extended periods of time. Larkin hopes that cuts down on vacant house fires and the other issues we mentioned in the story.